Yo, Yamamo, Aqua Bastron, so at the POG Media. So, messages are free, and as I waba Jumedian, so I over subscribe, like a Jumedian share, Nema Afufro, and so answer, and can be kindly click on the notification bell, and also send a be the news be at a platform, so I won't so won't the air call and the air bar, young call yen 70 Maya, then some Dodona air to ja, a yes, Cecilia.D, and send be Ababa to ja, a Martin Pepu, ya in him so a private a legal practitioner or the in some dodona ababa tuja and the courts no proceedings are judging and so and the two jano and the baby are some no more updates ababa tujano or the aba ama yin na yen so yet be uncle na yen kokote asama Martin People at the tuja.
Martin People is private legal practitioner. He's joining us on Zoom. He's unable to join us in the studio for good reason. Counsel, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, morning, Mr. Kansi. Morning. Good to be here on Ghana's #1 talk show, right? Yes, undisputed and unparalleled. We give you the best content ever as the #1 talk show. As usual, let me quickly do the rituals. Of course, the first greetings go to all citizens of Ghana for the yeoman's job that we did in terms of booting out the MPP administration. The reason today we have to thank citizens again is that, the more you get revelations of wrongdoing, etc., then you see that we really, really did a good job, right? Yes, this week you saw the invitation of Paul Adumochiri to the OSP. Apparently, all the noise he was making, it's because of the opportunities he was getting. Yes, because it was just unbecoming that Paul was doing that kind of hatchet job. Paul Adumochiri doing a hatchet job, saying things very unsavory. It's like it was on a different planet. But now with the OSP case, we've seen why he was motivated to do those things. There are more cases coming under ORA, etc., right? In the Attorney General's press conference. So it's exciting. So anytime there's a new revelation, of wrongdoing under Akuffo's dispensation, we have to say thank you again to the people of Ghana. Thank you, thank you. Then once again, let's greet for Akuffo, Yas Antwa. More fire, Domahine, more fire now, Court of Appeal judge, right? And other people who were elevated. Justice Buidi, the one who granted Afoko bail, Gregory Afoko bail, and was thrown into the Volta regime. Buidi to now, Court of Appeal judge, my Lord Justice Buidi, good morning. And all the other people we usually would greet Gamanche. Oh, yes, Mr. Kansi. Let's not forget Kentucky Tech, which would Gamanche. Gamanche won his case about over a week ago.
Yes.
The last time I mentioned that there had been this case where they sought to remove Gamanche's name from the list of chiefs, the National Register. But Gamanche has won the case in the Supreme Court. So, good morning, Gamanche. More fire on the Cecilia.D matter. Okay, so Mr. Kansi, yes.
No.
Come back to you.
Yes, I'm gonna come to you. No. It's okay, Prof. It's okay.
He's always talking about this. Let's push it.
You want to find out what the update is.
What is that? Me and you. Was it the matter?
The state of affairs on the?
Me and you are in court over that.
Yes, the state of affairs on the Cecilia.D case. What's the latest on it? Counsel, quickly.
Yes, so there are a number of decisions. A number of cases. So let's mention ours. Professor Jampo and I sued the Attorney General at that time. Of course, the office, but at that time, Godfrey Tami was in charge because he said that Iyoko cannot investigate Cecilia.D for money laundering because so far there is no evidence about how Cecilia.D came by the money. Can you imagine? Cecilia.D was found with plenty of money under her bed in her house, and then the ones the Patience Butchery allegedly took, and other ones. Attorney General Godfrey Tami turned the law on its head that we should first of all find a predicate offense. That's if we can't show whether Cecilia.D got the money from narcotics, whether from bribery, whether from murder, whether from robbery, etc., then Iyoko cannot do such an investigation. And so they stopped Iyoko. Of course, at that time it was Mamiti Wadu Dankwa. the cheerleader of bad governance in Ghana, supporting Akuffo Addo to do bad things. You remember the
Council, I have to update
the other case.
I have to an update on the Cecilia.D case. Yes, just a brief one, because I just wanted a quick update. So
yes, so basically, I'm just giving you. Okay, so we just go on straight. So the last time we went to court in July, the judge has adjourned the matter to October to give a ruling. Yes, the Attorney General's office, can you imagine the curious part of it? They are fighting certain parts of the case. We'll leave the judge to decide. Yes. So we are in court because we want the court to declare that we don't need to, first of all, show where Cecilia.D got the money from before we can do money laundering, because we have changed the law. We have changed our laws. That requirement that show where the person got the money from before the person is using it for another purpose, we have since changed it in the new Anti-Money Laundering Act. So the judge will give a ruling on it in October, and then the rest of the case will continue. Okay. But secondly, to Iyoko, Remonacha, good morning, Remonacha. Remonacha has gone back into investigating the matter because it's clear that Iyoko has jurisdiction to, investigate money laundering. So the investigations are ongoing. We wish Raymond good luck, yes, because when it works out well, it's for all of us as Ghanaians.
It is indeed for the greater good. Thank you very much. Dr. Amakoba, I'll come back to this particular bit on the decision by the Attorney General in this Unibank case, that is the Republic versus Dr. Akuffo and the 7 others. And I made reference to how this case has evolved over time, taking into consideration how the figures have also changed as well, and the Attorney General's position that based on his own assessment of the facts in front of him, pursuing this case would result in more liability than some gain for the state, and so decided to go in for this agreement and sign a nolle prosequia. Did he tick the box for you?
Well, punishment doesn't feed children. That's the first thing. It doesn't feed children. You may feel good. No, I got him now. Look at him. That's all you got. It doesn't feed the children. So any way you look at it, restitution is more important than punishment. When you finish the restitution, you can come and consider punishment. To what extent should I punish this person? That's how it. Sometimes even in the United States, you get a witness who is very forthcoming. They let him go free. Even relocate the person, witness protection, all of that, because he has been very helpful in this case. Mm-hmm. We don't learn that. We just want to show that guy he's a small guy. We got him now. That makes no sense. You can't, okay, you are trying to punish me, he dies, what are you going to do now? What? It's all gone. He's dead. So this idea of punishment, yes, I agree we should not allow lawbreakers to go free. But you have to temper that with the other side. Does it happen in the country? You put him in jail, you're going to feed him too. Then he says he's sick, you take him to hospital. All of these things are coming back to the state again. So always look to see if you can recover some of the stolen loot before you consider punishment. Otherwise, you are not helping the state at all. As I've said, punishment does not feed children. Hospitals, chip compound, whatever, all these are very important, and it takes money. And they are stealing the money, and you just want to throw them in jail and forget it. No. So get the money back. I support that. Sometimes you may even give them sweetheart deals in order for them to help you get the money. Do it and get it, if that's what it takes. And it's been done all over the world except us. So please, let's not get this idea that you are here to punish people. You are here to collect your money. You've stolen the money, yes, it's wrong. But find a way to get it back. If you put him in jail, how does it benefit the average citizen? How? We're still taking care of him in jail too. Why? So get the money and alleviate our financial burden a little bit. That is more important than you showing that you're punishing him.
Now, so they talk about the element of deterrence as well, and that's what Rako Powers was referencing a number of times in his submission.
That yes, level.
you would have this agreement because you want to recover, yes, but then it must not also water down the element of deterrence.
No, if you are going to recover money, and the person knows you are serious, he himself will reform himself. In helping you, he is reforming himself. You see, it depends on what you do. All of these are based on the prosecutors. They'll give you a deal. Every case is different. So we should not assume they are all the same. No. If the person is forthcoming, why are you making things so hard for him? If he's forthcoming to make you get your money, even tell on others who have done the same thing. Wouldn't you make things a bit easier for him? And you want to make it hard so you can go and rant on his cronies? No, he won't. But there are some witnesses to cases. They will come forth, give you ideas, give you headlines. Go here, look at this. Yes, this is valuable information. And if it helps you get more money out, you cut his punishment level. That's how it's done. Sometimes a person is in jail 5 years. And then when he sees the high, 5 years, my goodness, I'm going to stay in jail for 5 years, he starts talking. Mm-hmm. And when he offers valuable information to arrest others, the jail term is cut down. And that's how it should be. Every case is different. You should not lump all of them together. If a witness is forthcoming, help him. Help him by cutting his term of imprisonment so he can even give you even more help for you to get more money.
Well, Dr. Zato, the attorney
nyame insha so guso a ohwe dwumadie no onka ho ontere wa hyem onye okese dwumadie no eguso a etwagu mesere se obe subscribe like dwumadie no share na ma afoforo enso ensa inka be kindly click on the notification bell no so send be the any news be at platform no so a onso wo hunu die airco and die airba ensam no yeguso ye to aso ofam you no eto aso a eye Martin Pepu ene eye Dr. Amakoba, one of the founding members of MPP to aso edin some donato Jayanko Nenkonkuti.
Took this decision, it says, based on this assessment of the information before him as he inherited, and taking into consideration what Mr. Jackson talked about, the amount that this entire exercise has cost us cannot also be underestimated. Over 30 billion cedis. That's no joke. And now the focus of the Attorney General to recover as much from this entire process, taking into consideration what I just put out there about the debt as well that the government of Ghana owed the defunct Unibank. What has he done wrong exactly?
Thank you very much, Alfred. I think that there's a lawyer here, he's talked about the legal issues very well. There's a finance guy, he's talked about the finance issues very well. Since I'm neither of them, I want to talk about the politics or the policy issues of this, because that is where I think I know better. And then I'll tie in these two at the end of my presentation.
There's no politics in this, actually.
Okay, thank you. So I'll talk about the policy aspect. Because
unless you see politics in this.
I see politics and I see policy, because the Attorney General is a policy maker and a politician. So his decisions are also policy and politics. Thank you. Before we come in, we must go back to try to look at how we got here. How we got here and what drove us here. A new government came in 2017. And the new government, partly as part of it, was saying that there were problems with the banking sector and that the issues have to do with banking sector finances and whatever. And precisely because of that, the new government decided to go ahead and, let's say, clean up the mess they made. I'm happy Joe Jackson has just acknowledged that there was actually a mess, that things had to be done. But he disagrees with the method, which is always exactly, because once you identify a problem, solutions can be different. So there was something to be done. When that was going, it was painful, it was difficult. People lost their jobs, banks lost their licenses. But there was also another narrative for it from the then opposition. The argument was that, one, it was the cleaner was not necessary. Two, that the amount of money put there is too much. And that three, it is the third part that actually stands, that it was a calculated political attempt to punish banks that were seen to be associated with the former government. In other words, part of the argument that they were making was that you were targeting, let me say, bankers or owners of banks who had direct or close links with the NDC, and that your ultimate objective was to make the NDC financially weak so that they cannot come back again. That was a very palpable argument that was made. In fact, it is this argument that led some leading members of the then opposition and now government to claim that when they come to power, they will give back the suspended licenses. So I want to create that context. So we see it within that context that this was, so it was this process, even though it was banking, finance, accounting, whatever, was highly politicized. And this was then these arguments came up. That one, it was partisan, which are about bankers that were seen to actually with the former government, and that if we come back, we'll give them a license. There were statements made to that effect by leading members of the current government.
No, the statement was that they'll assess the banks that have been collapsed and those ones that other means could have been employed other than collapsing them, a decision will be taken to restore. And that's what Joe Jackson was talking about, that the processes were quite draconian.
So the context
cost us that much.
Okay, so I want to establish that. So I'm speaking within that context of that. These were highly political or partisan positions taken. Now, I've heard somebody tell me that the governor of the Bank of Ghana just said that they are not going to reissue the licenses. I don't know whether it's definite or it's still assessing. Anyway, let's go back to, now, that is what happened. So now you now come back to this particular case. Again, I want to set this within the context of what is known as what? Operation Recover All Loot. The operational word, if you listen to last year by this time, August by this time, there were two big phrases of the campaign. That was done. One was what? 21 7 jobs. And the big one was Operation Recover All Loot. The government made it a very big point that every single loot was going to be recovered. That any man or any woman who has, for want of a better word, chopped government's money, or anyone who hasn't, will be persecuted, and all the money will be what? Recovered. It was Operation Recover All Loot. That was what was promised Ghanaians. That was what was promised everybody. So again, I want to situate this particular deal within that context. That look, if you promise Operation Recover All Loot, are you recovering all loot? Because remember, there's always something that I say. In opposition, mostly political parties campaign in poetry and absolutism. In power, political parties seem to want to govern in prose and sometimes relativism, a very high rate of relativism. And that is why sometimes the ordinary people then begin to lose faith in politicians. That is why ordinary people think that all politicians are crooks, all politicians are liars, all politicians are not being fair and speaking the truth. It's because we say something in opposition, and then when we come to power, we say a different thing. Bright Simmons of Imani has done a study of this particular deal. His conclusion is that, one, the state is not getting any 60% of it. No. In fact, he concludes by saying that rather the state is getting 10%. And this is what he says. Point 25. In any serious country, the press conference of the AG today will be beginning, not the end of the national debate about how Ghana tackles financial losses involving the rich and powerful society. The question is Ghana a serious country or a catastrophic society? Judge for yourselves. That is the damning verdict of an independent analyst who has sat back. Nobody can say, what's his name? Bright Simmons is NDC or MPP. No. That is the damning verdict of him. I have another verdict here from a man called, what's the name? Suleiman Ibrahim. And he's posed a very simple question. Does it mean that if Kofi Annan stole or misappropriated 100 million of state funds and are facing prosecution, you will or may discontinue prosecution if you are able to recover up to 60 million, 60% of the stolen misappropriated funds from Kofi Annan?
Dear Diako Son Yan Pitri, I had any din some no ABC at the message or subscribe like you would in share Nema for friends and Sanka be kindly click on the notification bell to send a bear. Yet the any news be out to platform so I won't so well who dear air call and dear air bar. Jumadiano a better so now yet the do one also yet the or why the bedroom so Jibre now the POG Media in details with your POG Media the moment say yet the more into Jibre, the future Jumadian my Akroma.